employers, people in the position of hiring, avoid ambiguity. So if a woman volunteers information about why she was out of the labor market, if she volunteers the fact that I took a break from the labor market to raise a family, have children, now I'm coming back in, she is much more likely to be hired than a woman who hides that information.
Any information, including personal information, that people have taken great pains to conceal are actually beneficial in terms of raising the probability that you'll be hired.
Now, interestingly, compounding the EEOC's guidance discouraging employers from asking information about a woman's family status, if you go to a career websites, recruiters will also discourage women from volunteering this information, even if they have an obvious employment gap on their resume. And so we have the situation where employers are scared to ask, women are scared to volunteer, and so it creates a situation of ambiguity. And in fact, that's precisely what our experiment found.
The advice that a lot of people are given, if you check any of the websites or guidance on returning to the workforce, it's pretty much disguise the fact that you're out of the workforce by removing dates of employment and by reporting volunteer work as though there are actual real jobs or claiming that you were doing consulting. But this isn't necessarily the best advice when, in fact, you may be better off just explaining I was out of the workforce for family-related reasons. It's not unusual. And in fact, most women, in fact, do have children and are, in fact, responsible for most of the child care. So why is this so shameful that it has to be concealed in an employment situation?
We think that the EEOC guidance, while very well-intentioned, is having pretty obvious harmful effects on women re-entering the labor market, particularly after a family-related career gap. And so what we're proposing instead is a reasonable accommodation model. Now, the reasonable accommodation model is a model that the EEOC uses for disabled employees. And the idea behind reasonable accommodation is that there's an interactive process where the employer and the employee have an honest conversation about the employer's needs and the employer's wants, as well as the employee's needs and employee's wants. What is the woman going to need in terms of support from the employer, accommodations for the employer to get back into the workplace to succeed in her job, and vice versa. What does the employer require for a successful employer-employee relationship? And with the reality of so many women having families, needing to work from home, with the increased ability to telecommute work from home, this seems like a very reasonable possibility for a wide variety of jobs.
Some things can be enacted so trivially and at such low cost, but they aren't done because of concerns about we can't make exceptions for you. And if we make exceptions for you, we have to make exceptions for everybody. What you have to do is stop seeing these work-family balance issues as something exceptional, because 80% of college-educated women are in the workforce, and they do bear the majority of the child care family responsibilities.